Hello friends, welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. This is Mel Rose. I'm here to share some daily astrology and tarot with you. And I'm just going to get straight into it. There's a whole lot going on for Thursday, March 16. It's going to be a really bumpy ride of a couple of days, Thursday and Friday. But, you know, especially today, especially in the early afternoon, and then after about 4:30 this afternoon, it's going to smooth out a little bit because Venus is going to get back into its comfort zone. So I want to start with the card that sits on the side of the page. That's the 10 of Cups. It is here because it corresponds in astrology with the final 10 days of the sun's transit here in the land of Pisces. And the sun is moving on into Aries on Monday. That's when spring equinox is coming up. Okay, so that is our big celebration where we welcome the beginning of spring and we say bye-bye to the winter time and hello to the warmer spring and summer months and hello to the flowers and all of that beautiful stuff. So here we are at the 10 of Cups. This is the last 10 days of Pisces and of the sun's transit in Pisces. And this is a sort of a recognition that we all have moments from time to time where we feel completely emotionally fulfilled, right? You have your family around you, whatever it is, whoever it is that makes up your family, because some of us have chosen family and some of us have blood family. Lots of us just have a blend thereof, right? So, you know, whatever that is for you, whatever your version of is of, you know, the happy partnership with a couple of kids dancing and playing with a house on a hill, with a river going by, rainbow in the sky. It's just lovely. You feel fulfilled. You feel supported, not just in this moment, but like all the time. You feel as though you know you will always have, you know, the support and the uplift and the emotional caring of these people around you. Okay. And, you know, that's a great feeling of emotional security that can really sort of spill over onto the people that you encounter when you're feeling that way. You know, it's sort of a love that spreads out and gives other people ideas about how they might find their emotional fulfillment too. And I think that's just, that's beautiful. And it's something to celebrate. If you find yourself in the 10 of Cups situation or feeling like, you know, you have some version of the 10 of Cups for yourself where everything you have is perfectly satisfactory to you, and the people you have put around you, you know, are the kind of people who recognize you and honor you and support you in the way that you need to, and you're able to recognize them and honor them and support them in the way that they need to, then, you know, celebrate that, you know, pat yourself on your back, give everybody around you a big hug and a smooch on the cheek, and tell them that you love them and that you love your life, because, you know, that's a powerful place to be in. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. Okay, Grail 5. This is, of course, my Arthurian tarot deck. It's based on the tales of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The Grail 5 here corresponds in regular tarot to the 5 of Cups. And so this is a time of disappointment. It's a time of sort of mourning and maybe kind of not wanting to let go of what has come before. So I just want to point out, you know, today Venus goes into Taurus, and then I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, no, on Saturday, Mercury goes into Aries. And then on Monday, the sun is moving over into Aries. So, you know, we're having a lot of transition right now. We're making a lot of moves. And there are a lot of other aspects coming up right now, too. A lot of conjunctions and squares and sextiles where these planets are very close to one another, but not so close that they, you know, well, anyway, these planets are very close to one another. You've got a conjunction there and a conjunction there and a triple conjunction there, right? You've got a number of squares here and a number of sextiles here. So no oppositions. Nobody's like all the way across the page from anyone, right? So, you know, this is a time of transition. There's a whole bunch of like planets sort of bumping into one another and making these sometimes challenging aspects with one another. And so it can be hard. It can be hard to recognize what you're being asked to leave behind at this time. And we are working toward the new moon. So this is a time really with the waning crescent moon to be actively releasing whatever it is that no longer works for you, Grail 5, says, you can look at what you've lost, or you can look at what's no longer working, and you can give yourself some time to mourn it, right? You can give yourself some time to recognize that you made some sort of investment. You gave of yourself in your, of your heart, your enthusiasm, your time, your labor, your caring, and somehow there was a loss, right? So somehow the investment that you made, didn't work out. So it's going to be time to move on very quickly. And, especially when there's so much transition happening and so many challenges coming up, it can be kind of hard to notice what's shaking loose and being asked to let go of, and B, to come to those realizations. We're coming to realizations a lot this week. Even some difficult ones. So we're saying goodbye to some things. We're letting go of some real stuff that we thought that we valued, we're gonna have to put it behind us. So, it's one of those times when we are looking back on the things that we have given, or the things that we have taken in, the things that we have created for ourselves, and having to discern what stays and what goes, and having to be a little bit dispassionate about it, which is difficult at a time like this, because we do feel passionate. The sun is square to Mars today. We feel like we want to defend our actions, or in this case, we may feel like we want to defend our reasons for holding on to things that are really no longer working for us, right? Venus is square to Pluto today, and this is like we might be having a control issue or a power struggle in one of our relationships with somebody that is a partner to us in our life. So a family member, a friend, or even a lover. This can have to do with our finance. It could be a business partner, right? But there's going to be a power struggle, a challenge for control. People may engage in manipulative behavior. People may sort of show their ass out of petty resentment at this time. Okay. So, let's not make ultimatums. Let's not try to solve our problems by forcing people to behave in ways that are not, coming naturally to them. It's time to say goodbye to a few things that we probably really don't want to let go. But this afternoon at around 4:30, the Venus is going to enter the Taurus. And the Venus entering the Taurus is good news, because Venus loves Taurus, lives in Taurus, resides there, rules that sign. It's very much about the establishment of comfort and security in the material realm. So, we want our sensual pleasures. We want to eat good food. We want to have good sex. We want to, really, feel what our bodies like to feel, and do what our senses like for us to do. Okay. And so that's going to take a lot of pressure off of the situation, because Venus in Aries, not so comfortable, a little bit, crabby, a little bit, not nice. When a person who is generally more on the passive or receptive end of things, has to tell people what they want to get it, they're usually not very happy about it. So think about it that way. But we're moving on from Aries into Taurus, and that's great. Mercury squares off with Mars today. These are all really quick aspects. This one might last, a couple days longer than the rest. This will last a couple of weeks, but Mercury square to Mars will be a quick one, but it's a fool's rush in. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't rush ahead in traffic. Be very careful about that kind of stuff. And don't work so far ahead on your work that you find, a week down the road that you have to go back and do things that redo things that you've already done, because you should have done them in a more time appropriate fashion, which means going with the pace and the flow of things, especially out in the world. Okay. So, there's a letting go quality of this week. And that's our reminder from Grail 5 is, there are going to be things that reveal themselves as not being workable for us anymore. There are going to be things that reveal themselves as as things that we feel like we have to defend, and we're really going to have to ask ourselves the question, like, am I really here to defend this, or do I need to let it go, right? So put together with the 10 of Cups here. I mean, a 10 and a 5, right? That's a decrease in, that's a decrease by half. 50% is a lot, okay? So if you're talking about complete emotional fulfillment, expect to get about 50% of that right now is what I'm getting from that, right? Even if you live a life where you do feel like, you're getting that complete emotional fulfillment, you have the feeling of support and love around you that you need, and you feel like you're able to give that support and love to other people. Understand that even during times like that, we have bumpy roads, we have loss, we have things we have to leave behind, we have difficult choices to make, okay? And we have to be ready to sail forward when the time comes, right? We have to be ready to make the shift, just as Venus is moving on into Taurus, into more comfortable waters, just as the sun will be moving on into Aries on Monday, into more comfortable waters. Mercury will be moving on into Aries, into slightly more combative waters. But, maybe that's just so that we can put up a good fight to get back to our level, our ideal level of emotional satisfaction. Right. So expect a bumpy time over the next couple days, Thursday and Friday. Make it through Saturday, especially make it through Monday, and the sun's transit into Aries. You will be a-okay. All right. Trust your gut and your guidance and your intuition. Remember to stay cool, to try not to say things that you don't mean or you might regret. If you're uncertain whether you should say it, maybe just wait to say it, okay? And definitely make sure you treat yourself and your loved ones and the people that you work with and rely on with respect, and lend them your support where you can. And if you can't, or if you're feeling, if you're feeling angry or resistant or defensive about something around a certain person or a certain group of people, not a bad time to think about just withdrawing from that whole game for a little bit, okay? All right. Thanks, friends. I will talk to you soon. I'll probably see you back here tomorrow or the next day for more Astrology Today and Tarot. Bye-bye.